just miss the idea of my family. It's just a very lonely feeling. Divorce is fun.
Welcome back, family. Today, we are going to review this modern woman who decided to divorce her husband and then start to complain and cry when she got instantly replaced. Once again, we will prove to you that it doesn't matter what you do for modern women, because at the end of the day, they will always use their victim card and put all the blame on you. Let's first start by allowing her to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Laura. I am a single mom of 3 and a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Since my divorce, my children and I have moved across the state, and we are currently living with my parents. Like so many of you, divorce completely shattered me, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. I find myself mindlessly scrolling during the day, avoiding my emotions, and trying to put on a brave face for my babies. Just existing in my life and not living in it. I recently thought to myself, do I even remember what it feels like to be happy? Last week, I decided I'm going to do things for myself daily to make me feel loved. Doing my hair, skincare, makeup. It's helped me feel better about myself, and hopefully one day I'll feel happy again. If this resonates with you, follow along. Let's heal together.
This woman called herself a survivor of a narcissist abuse. I mean, seriously, these are just clincher words that modern women use when they start to get bored of the relationship and want out. This woman didn't even believe that her husband was a narcissist until she went to therapy. And we all know that modern couples therapy is just a place where women go to hear that feel-good Kool-Aid. And as usual, the therapist was probably a woman.
By the way, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's what female therapists do.
Convinced her that her husband is a narcissist, and she agreed with her because that absolves her from any kinds of accountability for her actions. Check it out.
So this is a comment that I'm getting quite a bit on my video about how narcissists can't be alone. So a little backstory. I didn't know that my ex-husband was a narcissist. I'd heard other people use that term to explain how he was and who he was, but I did not personally believe it. It wasn't until I went to therapy and my therapist told me that I had just had like key signs of like being a person who was abused by a narcissist. So she told me a few things to get to kind of help myself and to kind of explain his behavior and then ways that I can combat it. So in that way, I'm not feeding as his supply anymore. The first one she said, and I'm still reading it because it's pretty large, is Becoming the Narcissist Nightmare. This book is so helpful. Screenshot this so you can go and buy it. And then the next book I found online here, and it's this one, It's Not You. And this doctor talks a lot about narcissism and gaslighting, and she's fantastic.
So this woman got bored, decided to give up on her family, then open a TikTok account so that she can start sharing her so-called healing journey. What is so disturbing is that almost all these modern therapy sessions push the woman to divorce their husbands. Even when the husband tries to make efforts to save the marriage, it is seen as manipulation because these modern women are already convinced by their therapists to leave their marriages.
That's true, guys.
One thing that I noticed going through a divorce, separation or a breakup is when your partner is not well, like emotionally, mentally, whatever it may be, and they're trying to get help, and you still have to go through with the breakup or the divorce because it's just too hard. Like you just need a fresh start. And 99.9% of you knows that it's over. It's done. You need to leave. It's done. But there's like that 1% that still has hope. And we put so much weight in that 1%, of hope. There's just so much that we ignore the 99%. And when we're grieving, that 1% has so much more power over us. And I just don't understand why.
Okay, guys, let me tell you what I hear, right? I'm going to tell you what I hear. Because this woman is saying her husband was a narcissist and, he was abusive. So I'm not going to say, I don't want to say, you should have stayed with your narcissist husband, right? I believe that if someone is abusing you, you should leave them, right? But what I'm hearing right now is regrets. It seems like she regret, divorcing her husband. It seems like she regrets divorcing her narcissist husband and her abusive husband. That's what I hear, guys. But anyway, let's keep it pushing.
This woman literally creates stories in her head to try to victimize herself in every situation. Check it out.
If you filed for divorce and your husband completely changes the script, he's the man you always wanted, he's the father you always wanted, he's doing all of the things that you begged for years, you need to still leave. Do not fall for love bombing. That's what he's doing to you. If he had this ability to do this the entire time, like if he had this capability in him, then he would have done it. What a level of disrespect for you to accept by staying with him when he had this ability and it took you having to go file for divorce, separate for him to actually change. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Respect yourself enough to know that he's gonna go back to exactly who he was because you fell for it again. Just don't fall for it.
I don't believe that her husband actually changed to the man she always wanted. Women usually imagining things that never happens in their heads so much that they actually believe that it was real.
Duh.
We've all heard a woman said that I wanted him to do this for me this way, and they expect men to just read their minds and do what they want them to do exactly how they imagined it in their heads. That is why women get mad sometimes about things that never even happened. In this case, I believe that the distance between her and her husband pushed her to start noticing all the good things her husband was doing, even though he was probably always doing the same things for years. These modern women always start to appreciate what you used to do for them once you are gone. Guys, this man fought so hard to keep his family together without success because his wife, already 10 toes down, decided to leave him, probably because she thought that she could easily replace him with another man. But instead, she is the one that got replaced instantly as soon as her husband decided to move on and get another woman. And that caught this woman by surprise, and she literally turned bitter trying to call the new woman the new supplier.
Have you ever noticed that the discard phase of the narcissist when they have a new supply is so much worse when they have that new supply than when they don't? The reason for that is because the narcissist is so distracted and infatuated by their new supply that they do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care about where the kids are going to live. They don't care about anything. All that they care about is that euphoria that they're getting from their new supply. And because they're so excited from this feeling of euphoria that they're getting from this new supply, you become like annoying, like you're just a pain. They don't want to deal with you. They do not care if you're alive. They're so hyper focused on their new supply and that feeling of euphoria and excitement that they're getting from that new supply that you just don't matter. You're a bother. And that is why when you're in that discard phase and they have a new supply, it's more painful than it was when you were actually with the narcissist. And a lot of times, because they don't care about anything else besides their feelings and feeling this euphoric sensation, this excitement from the new supply, if you have children with that narcissist, they'll want to introduce the children to their new supply as soon as possible because the kids' feelings don't matter. Your feelings don't matter. And they do not care about the damage that they're doing to other people. They only care about having new supply and constant supply.
I mean, what did this woman expect from her husband? She said herself that he tried everything to make things work, but she still wanted to leave. Now she is talking about how much her ex-husband doesn't care about her feelings once he got another woman. What a joke this woman really is. I am sure
Yes,
that she
she
got
is
the
a
term
joke.
the new supplier from her therapist, who is probably a woman as well. Now that she realized that her ex-husband moved on with a better woman, all she does is post video after video trying to belittle her ex-husband's new relationship.
Narcissists and their rebound relationships. The narcissist almost always ends up in a rebound relationship because typically they already have that person lined up. What's interesting though is that they didn't choose that person at all. It's more like they're being dragged by their desperation to find someone to feed their ego. They have this desperation and this craving for love and adoration. So the rebound is not love. This rebound instead is actually a lifeline that helps keep their ego afloat. And you need to remember that this rebound does not mean anything about you. It does not determine your worth. It's all about their inability to face themselves. The narcissist is really just running away from their own shadow. Don't let their inability to be alone and their need for distraction affect you. Stop taking it personally and get that power back.
Here are some
Okay, like I said, guys, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing someone who's regretting their decision, right? Because she can't even stop talking about her ex-husband. She's always talking, like, so far at this point, all the videos and her TikTok account is about her husband. You know, this is somebody that she cannot get over, and this is somebody that she cannot forget about, right? She's thinking about this person probably 24/7. You know, even though she believes that this person is a narcissist and this person is abusive. I mean, if someone was abusing you and someone was a narcissist, I'm not saying her husband is not a narcissist, right? And I'm not saying her husband is not abusive. I'm just saying if someone was abusing you or someone was a narcissist, wouldn't you like try to forget about this person? Like, at least like not talk about this person. Like, you'll be on the tip of saying like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, you should be on that, guys. You understand? But like, she can't even stop talking about her husband. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. My name is RJ Godfella, and this is the RJ Godfella Chess. Now, if you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button.